Please welcome Bridgerton's Lady Danbury is the fabulous Adjoa Andoh. Girls.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too,
Such
Colleen.
a fan.
Oh, thank you.
A massive
And your character, actually.
My character.
She's amazing because she's strong, isn't she, and harsh at times, but so lovable as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like the difference in her.
I wanted to... I think when I was thinking about her, I was thinking about my nana. Was still playing tennis into her 60s, teacher, was head of the WI, very good at flower arranging, baking and knitting.
She sounds like a loose woman.
Yeah. Didn't suffer fools. And then I was thinking about my auntie Grace in Ghana, who in the 60s just decided she loved fashion and travelled to Milan and Paris and New York and London with empty suitcases to buy fashion for her little boutique in Accra.
Wow.
So they're just
really
like...
strong,
and then my mum,
women.
they're all sort of biffy women. You know, we've all got them in our... They're probably all sat out here as well. We've all got them in our lives. Not all of them.
And then do they give you licence to kind of add something to the character that you want to bring?
So it's a Shondaland discipline that you don't stray a word off text unless you've had big chats beforehand and said, I beg you, let me change that word. But in terms of the look of Lady Danbury, I wanted her to... Because she's a widow, and in this period, if you're a woman, you were the property of your husband, literally. You went from your father to your husband. I wanted her... Because she's on her own, she's got her own money, her kids are far away, I wanted her to have the masculine and feminine about her. And my mother loves a good hat, I love a good hat, so I wanted Lady Danbury to have a good hat. So she wears the hats in the shape that the blokes wear. She's got the cane, and she has the little chatelaine, the watch chain and things that the blokes have, but then she has the great stush tailored outfits.
And there's been a lot of talk, obviously, since Bridgerton arrived, about the representation.
Yeah.
And you've had young black girls coming up to you and sort of saying what it means to them. How important is that for
Listen,
you?
I've had young black girls and boys sending me photographs of themselves dressed as Lady Danbury. I was in Atlanta earlier this year. I had, big, burly security guards in full uniform giving me the full, deep curtsy. Thank you, ma'am. And girls in hijabs coming up and asking for selfies and, young men in Brixton going, yeah. All right.
And what was the representation for you then when you were young? Who did you see on the screen?
Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
Harry Belafonte, Dorothy Dandridge. There were a few. There weren't very many homegrown ones. There was Cleo Silvestre in the early 60s, and then... there was... who was Angela in Angels? Oh, Geordie actress. Beautiful.
Angela Griffin?
No, pre her. Anyway, but it was few and far between. So I've loved it. My mum was a history teacher, and Queen Charlotte. There are paintings of her. You can see that she has got an African heritage in her because it was really common at the time because the houses of Europe were trading with Africa, and so it's not a surprise, but it's just.
Someone's just said in my ear, Angela Bruce.
Oh, thank God. Sorry, Angela. Thank you.
But a lot has been made about the colourblind cast.
Yeah, horrible phrase. Hate that phrase.
Yes.
That's not what we're doing.
No, but is it historic? You've just said there. You feel it's historically correct?
I don't feel it. Historians say it. It's true. Because at the time, when Charlotte came over from Europe, she was a family called Mecklenburg-Strelitz, and they were a royal family of Europe. And when she came over, she brought the Christmas tree, by the way. Never mind Albert. Charlotte brought the Christmas tree. They complained about her mulatto skin and her ugly thick lips and her ugly wide nose, and there was a lot of fuss about it. So, that's historically in the books. It's just we never got taught it.
Yeah.
And if I had been taught that, that would have been very nice as a little girl.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, I'll talk about Bridgerton because there's a spin-off of Bridgerton,
There is.
isn't there? So you've got the new series coming and a spin-off. We'll come back to that, but I must get in, because I know it's very important to you, the podcast that you're taking part in with Dame Eileen Atkins. It's called Acting for
Others.
Acting for Others, which is a charity. So tell us about that.
So every year, and I've done it on... If I've been in a show on stage, at the end of the show in October, Acting for Others is this charity that was set up for anybody that works in the theatre. Stage door, crew... paint shop.
You've had a terrible time.
As, you know, the live arts is just... I mean, I have friends in their 60s who've, you know, been working at Amazon warehouses, you know, chaps being timed on their pee in their 60s. That's quite hard going.
Because they're freelance in that industry and they don't get
paid. The minute the work stops, you don't eat, literally. Or, you know, friends with young kids. So Act for Others is there to support anybody that may, you know, may be unable to work because of bereavement or ill health of somebody, their child or their parent or whoever they're caring for. It's a sort of safety net that doesn't exist for freelancers anywhere else. So we do it for ourselves, and then once a year we go on stage after a show with a bucket.
Yes, I've been in theatres and I've been at shows where I've put money in the bucket. And
you've got only folding change.
Yeah,
like that.
You don't want to clunk.
And so that's called Acting for Others Presents with Dame Eileen Atkins. You're going to do that. And then very quickly, I think I've got about 40 seconds left. The spin-off for Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte, Bridgerton story. So you're filming that currently?
We've finished filming that, so we're just on Bridgerton 3 at the moment. Okay. So Queen...
Happy.
I'm so excited.
The prequel is... it's a sort of origin story, and Shonda Rhimes, who wrote Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, all those shows, she's written the whole thing. Yeah. And it's fantastic, and it's about the young Queen Charlotte, the young me, the young Lady Violet.
Find out about
you find sort of our history, and then you see a bit of us in the present day.
That just says it's coming early 2023. That's all we know. Sorry to rush you. That's one of those breaks I have to get to. Adjoa, Andoh, everybody. Thanks for showing up.